Hello. This topic is about relationship, the bond that keeps the life going, that keeps the human race going, reproduction. And it seems that there's a lot of confusion nowadays, and there's a gender war, gender confusion, and there's more questions than answer. So, talking to hear from a lady, a woman themselves, because we men have the tendency to see things our way from a man's point of view. So it's good to have this interaction, discussion, dialogue, to see how women sees it. You were talking earlier before we get on the air, about relationship, and to kind of like recollect.
Okay.
You were talking about how, just when people get married and stuff like that, it's something like they get married to divorce or something. I wanted to kind of elaborate on that.
Well, it just seems to me like a lot of people don't appreciate the fact that it's difficult to find the right partner, that they feel like it's just too easy to jump in and out of marriage, and they don't realize how lucky they are when they have found that right person, that correct person that they're supposed to spend the rest of their life with. I don't believe there's just one person for everybody, but I definitely feel like you really need to take serious thought and some time and some analysis to figure out if the person you're really with is the one that you should be spending the rest of your life with, rather than just saying, we'll get married. If it doesn't work out, that's all right. We'll just split up and move on. Because for people who aren't married and who are looking for that right person, it sort of cheapens, I think, that relationship. It makes it seem not as important or not as, almost precious as what it is. And so that's just my opinion, that I get frustrated sometimes seeing people jump in and out of marriage like it's nothing. And marriage is supposed to be something that you think about seriously.
Well, that's a good analogy, and that is common sense and logic. It seems like today common sense and logic does not preside anymore. And the question,
especially in relationships and marriage.
And the question I would like to ask you, I'll play the devil advocate here.
Okay.
And the question I'd like to ask you, do you think that people are getting married for the wrong reasons? Because it's broader than just black and white, just
right.
put it that people are not finding the right person.
Right. I
believe that in order to find the right person, you have to be the right person.
Right.
It's not about finding the right person. It's about being the right person, because when the opportunity surfaces,
right. If you're not ready,
because it's better to be prepared and not have the opportunity,
right,
than to have the opportunity. And it's better to be prepared and not have the opportunity than to have the opportunity and
right.
not be prepared.
Right.
And I think that's just my view. What do I know? Just little.
Right. Well, what do I know too?
Exactly. Because if we have
the average
this
Jane.
Yeah. If we have this theory down, the answer, we'll put it in a bottle and we become big as. Will be more richer, wealthier than Bill Gates, and what I could think is that marriage and finding the right person, you have to know yourself first.
Right.
And marriage actually might not be for everyone.
Right.
And also, I also think maybe, is it that people are marrying for the wrong reason? Because what is this thing that is love? Is it misunderstood? Because love is unconditional. But when something that's unconditional is based on something that's conditional, which is trust is conditional. Because if I betray your trust and you say you love me, which is supposed to be unconditional, and then that string attached to that. And how can strings be attached to something that's unconditional? And that's where the confusion comes in. People have to know also who they are.
Right.
Know your traits, your
Right.
personality. And that's what makes a perfect.
Well, I've always said I know that I'm an acquired taste for personality because I know that not everybody can appreciate the personality, my personality or my way of doing things or whatever. So I've always known that. But what I get frustrated with sometimes is there's two things. One, that I see a lot of people who are doing the whole, especially as I've gotten older and, been able to watch different, groups of age groups and that type of thing, is that the whole, you graduate from high school, you go to college, and then you get married. And not that necessarily they found the right person that's going to be the best for them or that they're going to be the best person for their spouse, but it's just society tells me I need to get married when I finish college because that's just part of the rite of passage of becoming an adult. And so they just, whoever they happen to be dating or seeing at that particular time, then they just get married to that person because that's what society tells them. And then the other side of it, which I've seen a lot, is, oh, we got pregnant, so we have to get married. And I am a firm believer that obviously, as someone who's not been married, that you don't just marry someone for reasons like that because society tells you that once you finish college, you have to get married. I remember being in college.
Once you finish college, some people are getting married before they even finish high school.
Well, true. But I think the majority of what you see is that whole society tells us we need to do this. And so whoever I'm with, whether it's really the person that compliments me well and that I compliment well, I'll just marry them anyway because we're fitting into the societal norms. And it doesn't have anything to do with, is this person making me a better person or am I able to make this person the best that they can be? It's okay. It's that time of life and this is what we're expected to do. And I've never been one to really go along with what society tells you to do at certain landmarks of life and age and that type of thing. So I think that's part of me personally is that, yes, I've always wanted to be married and have a family, but part of me wanted to do it in an untraditional way because then I wouldn't be feeding into that whole societal pressure.
So you won't feel like pressured or coerced into go into something you don't really feel wholeheartedly about.
Exactly.
Good. Okay. That sounds good. Another thing as you were making that statement that I thought also is, do you think, there's two points I want to bring up. Do you think that people are so focused on lust that they lose the whole essence of what marriage is about, that they get blinded to the faults of the significant others? Because if you look at the divorce rate, if you look at the people that love each other, say they love each other today, and then they go through the honeymoon, and as soon as the honeymoon's over, they become the worst enemy to the point of pretty much taking each other to court and killing each other. So if that was truly based on love, true love, we won't see that. And also another thing also that I'd like to elaborate on. We know that the relationship of the genders and marriage have changed traditionally. And the conflict that I'm seeing that's kind of like contradictory is that the sense that everyone feels the need to be married and quote unquote fit into this, finish college, get married, have kids, and look good on the outside. As much as we've discarded the old tradition of the roles of the gender, but we're still enslaved on the tradition of marriage. And the fact is that marriage has become like something that just have to be done in order to be complete.
Right.
Because society still judge this matrimony as, just like if you're